Fall winter fashion season is upon us, and if you're wondering what are the trends and you want to see more examples of those trends, you're in the right place. Hi, and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria. I love fashion. I try to save you time by creating these fashion reports while looking at hundreds of runway shows and compiling the trends together in a more manageable, easier to understand way. So today is especially special day, especially special. Yeah, it is. Because we're talking about the actual trends, like the big trends of the entire season, and make sure to watch till the end because I will be revealing the trend that covered it all. Okay, let's get started. So the first trend I'm going to be covering is what I am wearing today, and it's bows. So we see so many different shows with these bows. Usually they were like around the neck, like a blouse with a bow, or maybe like a potential of being a bow, but they're just long ribbons that you can tie. But we've definitely seen them in Balenciaga, Balmain. We also seen them undercover in the shoes, even Carolina Herrera, so many. So this is definitely for people who love to be more feminine, who have very classical style. We see these bows being in variety of sizes. As I mentioned, mostly they were kind of like around the neck area, like a blouse situation. You can definitely have a scarf around, like what I'm doing right now, it not being part of the blouse. So we've seen this in Yves Saint Laurent for sure, part of a garment or maybe like a little accessory over top. We've also seen this trend in makeup, I know, and like accessories for hair, but then Simon Rocha had tiny little bows stuck on the face or like being part of the earrings. We also see more delicate bows in Maison Margiela. We also see much bigger bows on their coats. We see bows being part of dresses, either like just a humongous one or a very little one. Valentino had a full dress made of little red bows. We also seen these bows motifs in Moschino. So many different shows that are rocking this bow, and I feel like it's so easy to achieve straight out of your closet. You don't even need to purchase anything. Just get a scarf, tie it around. This is actually a curtain, you guys. Yeah, I'm giving all my secrets out. We also see them kind of on a hip side, making the hips wider, but we will definitely get to that a little bit later in the video. Bows were kind of like in a bag format. So if you have this tendency of being more classy, having this feminine edge to you, then this is perfect for you. Moving on into something, once again, you can put around your neck, and these are ties. I know that you're thinking, Maria, why didn't you just put this into accessories section? I think I forgot to add it, so here we are. Ties, lots and lots of ties. And the reason I decided to put it here as well, just because the overwhelming number of street style bloggers that have interpreted this trend kind of in their own way, where we mostly see ties being worn in a very classical way on the runways. We see all of the influencers rocking it in so many different ways, kind of like almost like a scarf around the neck, like we see it right here, or just a classical version. I've seen so many ties being upcycled into something else, but right now we're seeing very classical, very neutral ties, like very structured. Is this part of the quiet luxury or a more conservative way that the fashion industry is moving towards? Maybe, but I still quite like it. I feel like you can still make it a little bit edgy, like we've seen here in GCDS, with having the styling of it a little bit different, maybe like with mini skirts, maybe with the kind of messy hair, maybe with sparkles, you know? Like leather skirts even, you know, dresses. Like, I love this styling. I will definitely be trying this out. I've already tried it and I love it. Just if you have a partner, steal their tie, try it out. It's very easy, even if you don't have a partner. Just go to thrift store. There are so many different ties there for like $3, and why not? If you don't like the original way, just do it like a scarf that I mentioned. It's so plain and easy. We are seeing more and more of like these very classical versions of styling with like a black and white outfits like you would go to a meeting in, and that is actually another trend that we'll be discussing in like 3, 2, 1, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, black and white. So we see the stylistic choices of wearing black and white or styling black and white clothes throughout so many different runways. All right, yes, Dolce & Gabbana. I feel like every fall and winter they just like decide to lose all color except for black and white and red, and I guess that's okay. They are keeping to their true colors for fall winter, but in other shows as well, Yves Saint Laurent having black and white. We also see this in so many different shows that we just looked at for like the tie trend. Alexander McQueen. We also see this undercover. We like so many shows. Tod's. So this is very classical combination, very safe combination as well. I feel like you can't go wrong with styling these two. I don't even want to say colors because having a background in art, it's shade and light. So they're so easy to style. And if you do miss like a pop of color here and there, you can still add it. It's so easy. A bag, a shoe, a lip. So easy to do. Like here in Balmain, having like a really bright cherry red bag or like a gold bag, or just keep it black and white. If you are a person that loves black and like always wearing black, maybe think about wearing like a white button-up shirt as a layer piece underneath and having that color showing, or maybe investing into like a white bag because it will always be very classy, and for your closet it's not gonna create any kind of a dent in there. So we're seeing like Prada styling this, Dior styling this trend together, Ferragamo. So many trends, so many shows. I feel like, once again, it's very easy, very simple to style, and very classic, and it's really hard to get this styling wrong. We also see it being styled on more of a street style wear, especially with the ties. But anyways, let's head into next trend. Red. Yes. Red, I've been hearing from so many different fashion bloggers that red is the color of this season. I feel like red comes back every single time, and how can you say that it's trending unless you're planning for it to not be trendy at all soon? Conspiracy theory? Maybe. But we're seeing red on the runways, mostly in kind of this deeper red, but there's so many different shades out there. Then you just think about what works best with your skin type, with your warmer skin tone, are you a cooler skin tone, and work from there. Because like you don't want to just go for a trend if it doesn't suit you, because it's just gonna look terrible on you. So if you are a warmer tone, then you go for like a little bit more of an orangey red. If you have a cooler tone, go for more of a rosy red. And I love it. Mostly I wear it as a lip color or maybe like an accent, but I have been known to pull off a full red look, and people were actually asking to take pictures with me. It was pretty funny. Anyways, red was introduced in both kind of more of a really outrageous outfits like we see here in David Coma. We also see red being a little bit on a classier, safer side, I guess, with like longer gowns or more like having a blazer or a long coat in it. Another red alert, we have tights in red. Red tights styled in a variety of ways. Really love this trend. Trying to find a pair of red tights for myself just to have this happening for myself as well. We've seen this in David Coma, in Gucci, and courageous as well. But as I mentioned, we see this both in classy, like long crazy coat, which is another thing that I would love to have, a red long coat. It's on my mood board for sure, on my wish board. Along with a YouTube plaque for 100,000 subscribers. So you guys, if you're not already subscribed and you're really liking the content I'm pushing out so far and you'd like to give me your appreciation in a form of a follow or a share or a like, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Anyways, let's move on to denim. Yes, denim on denim, kind of more of a Canadian tuxedo or some other forms of tuxedo in the States. And we're seeing this all over the runways again. This is nothing new, but just the styling of it, having mostly it was kind of same wash denim, very matching suits of denim. And I feel like it's such an easy one to do. This is one of my go-tos whenever I don't know what to wear and I'm like, oh, like I need to go to grocery store or I need to go to school and I have no idea what to wear. My safest bet is just to pull out my denim on denim and just go. I feel like it's so easy and forgiving for most body shapes because like denim holds its shape, right? So it usually looks more expensive and it hides a lot of imperfections if you go for the right denim, right? I'm not talking about the skinny or anything. I'm talking about very nice, heavy denim. Yes. I love the trend of the denim skirts, especially when they are repurposed. Like here we see so many designs of having like denim sewn onto other items of clothing. So very deconstructed. We see it in Jean Paul Gaultier, Haute Couture show. We also see this in Stella McCartney. And this is definitely something that I am considering to do with the denim that I no longer fit into. All right, next one up is the loose fitted pants or a loose fitted trouser. So we do see pants being on a voluminous side. Maybe they are being as if they're kind of a little bit too big for you, so they kind of go down a little bit on a rise, but definitely lots of materials going all the way down to the floor. Nothing that hits you at an ankle or like a little bit shorter. So no saving of fabric is what I'm saying. We see this in so many shows where we have these trousers, but they're kind of more on a voluminous side. I love this trend. I don't know, I feel like it's so now and it's so effortless again. It's so comfortable too. Like I can't even think back to the time where skinny jeans were in fashion and we were all trying to get into them, squeeze our little bodies in there and still have muffin tops. Like who needs that? I don't need that. And then like throughout the day you need to like pull them up. So yeah, anyways, back to these pants. They're so comfortable in your day-to-day life. The only thing is if it's raining, if you're living in a more rainy type of town, then you need to be careful about the pants reaching the ground and like pulling all the moisture into them. But other than that, I really love this trend. And another one, if you do have a really big Thanksgiving meal, I'm sure you'll be able to hide it in these pants. You know what I mean? So we have not only like the classical ones, we also see denim in this more of an oversized kind of pant format. We see them more of a sporty ones, maybe like parachute pants of some sort, maybe some palazzo pants. But yeah, usually on the runways, they were more like tailored though. All right, next one up, once again covering kind of the pants skirts area, and we're seeing low rise trend. Am I loving this? No, I am not. But let's face it, not every trend is for every single body, and this might not be for me, but it might be for you. If you're very tall and you have extraordinary long legs and you want to balance your body out, then this is for you. Lower rise, yes. Sometimes if you have really crazy long legs and you're wearing a high rise, it just looks really odd because most of your body is looking like it's part of your legs, right? So this is why this trend is perfect for all the models on the runways. That's why they look great wearing these lower rise outfits. They have like flat stomach, nothing is pouring over that band. I'm not sure like how they're keeping it up there and it's like not falling, but you know, it's their problem, not mine, because I will not be trying this. I tried it again lately, but no, it's not working out for me. Anyways, we see this mostly in kind of a streetwear, but here we are. Let's move on to pants and dresses or skirts combos. It's like kind of another one of those Y2K trends that we're seeing re-emerging with the Y2K trends. And here we are. We see kind of like really long gowns with a fitted pair of pants, or maybe it's like a dress, maybe even on men as well. We have these skirts. I'm not sure if all of them have pants underneath, but here in off-white, we definitely see the pants in yellow. Anyways, so we see this on the runways. I feel like it's once again another very easy way to style your clothes that you already have. I've done it already. I've had really wide leg denim, and then I just put a plaid skirt over top, but the skirt is kind of like too small for me, so it kind of revealed the whole leg of denim, and I felt so cool, let me tell you. I felt so cool wearing that. Yeah, anyways. So we once again see it in more classical, like in Fendi. We see it more edgy, like in Givenchy. We also see this in Courageous, Jill Sanders. Just so many shows rocking these layered looks, I guess. But we'll talk about layered ones a little bit later. I'm like always saying we'll talk about this later. But yeah, this is gonna be a long video, guys. Strap in. All right. As we're talking about bottoms, let's talk about super extremely short shorts or short skirts. It doesn't really matter. So we see them being on like a kind of the Y2K trend shortness, where it's even like a low rise and it's super short, just like the quote from Paris Hilton: if your mini skirt isn't the size of a belt, why are you even wearing it? I'm paraphrasing probably, but anyways, we see these shorts being so extremely short that they look like they are underwear. So we did see so many stars, and now even fashion bloggers wearing kind of their underwear out and about. Sometimes they're like on top of tights, sometimes they're even on the bottom of tights, like we're gonna see in a Miu Miu, but they're super ultra short. There were used to be like called hot pants or something, but you are seeing the result of this. So we are still seeing this. Some argue that these hot pants are only kind of like a look at us, look how outrageous this is, but notice the cashmere sweater that we're wearing on top, and that is the quiet luxury talking. It's like don't buy the underwear, but buy the sweater. Because you know, right now it's so hard to capture somebody's attention, then like why not just wear underwear, right? So as I spoke about Miu Miu is definitely one of the leading trendsetters at the moment, and having these tiny underwear shorts is their signature for sure. Having like underwear peek out of that underwear and having the tights pulled up, that's their main stylistic choice. The sparkly underwear that is going for like a few thousands of dollars for a single pair. I don't know if I can like say anything about that. Good for them, you know, they can afford it and people seem to be buying them, so sure. Would I advise you to do this, to go out and buy it? for yourself, no, I would not. I would advise you to try and experiment with maybe your bikini bottoms, or like maybe some kind of a high-rise, fully coveraged black bottoms from a two-piece black bikini, or whatever they are, not bikini, just a swimming suit, you know, and see how it goes. If you like it, you like it. If not, you didn't spend thousands of dollars on it. But anyways, so as I mentioned, short shorts, now we're seeing short skirts. Yeah, they're there. I don't really know what else to say, except for maybe think about the garments that you're wearing underneath. Maybe wear them with tights. It's fall winter. I know that I'm saying fall winter because I live in Canada, but there are countries, fall winter is their hot time, like in Australia or South Africa. So I can't really even say anything about that, but just think about it. If you're living in a colder climate, should you even try? I don't know. Now that we've talked about the micro bottoms, let's talk about the micro tops. All right, so on the runways, we've seen so many micro bras. It's either like little tiny flowers covering something. We've seen even like tiny horns on there, a feather. Okay, so many of these tiny bras. Am I gonna be saying an obvious thing that don't try it unless you're very confident with your breasts? For sure, it's not going to be me. If you have a smaller chest, I feel like you have a bigger possibility of pulling it off, for sure. Or if your breasts are like perfect and perky, then yes, you for sure. We see them in so many different runway shows, GCDS, little bows in there. We also see the infamous Gucci bra that so many bloggers have gotten and styling for the next runway shows appearances. Yeah, go for it. I'm so happy for you that you can pull it off. I can't, and I'm jealous, but if you're thinking of maybe you want to do something similar, just go for a simple black bra underneath, maybe like a sheer top, or just underneath the blazer, oversized blazer, something along the lines. You don't have to follow it like word for word, image for image. Just make sure that you feel confident wearing it. Next trend are the long sleeves. Okay, so seeing these long sleeves on the runways, I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, is this a positive emotion? Is this a negative emotion? The only thing I can think of, I can't even maintain the cleanliness of my regular length sleeves by like always eating weirdly and having stuff on it. Like, I also paint, so most of my clothing have some kind of painting stains, especially on the sleeves. So these extra long sleeves in everyday life, I don't think it's gonna work out that well. And I feel it's just giving out the Slenderman vibes. If you don't know who is Slenderman, it's basically like a urban legend that there was somebody who killed over it. But anyways, like, we're not gonna get into, but I am a really big fan of true crime, so that's why I know it. It's like basically whenever I'm editing, I'm watching true crime, and now I know for sure like what to do when I'm being attacked. Or I guess I don't, because sometimes people attack for no reason. Anyways, so we're seeing this trend mostly like in sweaters or even like in dress shirts, having like these extremely long sleeves where you don't even see the fingertips of the wearer. We also see it kind of having a faux sleeve, kind of like just having you can still use your arms, like, but anyways, I'm not sure who this trend would be great for. It kind of makes the outfit look a little bit slouchier, a little less put together, having much longer limbs. Maybe actually this trend is for me, because I have, for some reason, my hands are a few inches shorter than my body. You know, like the span of your hands from your fingertip to your fingertip should be equal to your height. Mine is a few inches shorter, so maybe it will even out my crazy short hands. Well, they're not super crazy short. But anyways, let's talk about layering. I mentioned that we're going to be talking about it, and here we are. I make promises I can keep sometimes. So here we are. We see layers in maybe styling, having multiple shirts or multiple skirts, or the skirt itself has kind of many layers to it. Maybe some sheer, maybe some opaque, maybe like different ones. We also see styling of like just putting lots of items on, like we see here in Maison Margiela or in Tom Brown. We also see this layering in Jean-Paul Gaultier, so many. Etro, yes for sure, and 21. Just having like little dresses, but then they're being folded over on top of each other. And Fendi had kind of this kind of like a apron thing, double one. Givenchy had a few looks with crazy amount of layering of like shirts being popping out of another shirt, like underneath a sweater. So yes, not tucking in anything. That's the rule here. Hermes also having kind of like a coat and then a scarf and then a dress. So layers I think are great for when you're like in transitioning of seasons. They're super reliable where you can just take off one layer and you're safe. But here we see also more like stylistic way of having lots of sheer items, like in Miu Miu having tights and then like a sheer through see-through skirt and another see-through skirt. We see Victoria Beckham having like this dress made out of multiple fabrics that kind of looks like it has multiple layers. If you're enjoying this content so far, please consider to like this video, maybe leave me a nice little comments, subscribe if you're not already. This will not only show your appreciation for my videos, but will allow other people to see this video as YouTube will promote it a little bit more. Thank you. Let's move on to hips. We have this exaggerated hips trend where it's not kind of just like, ooh, I have a big butt, but no, I am back in a day where these huge underskirts are made to create this humongous volume in the hips area. We see it a little bit more modernized, like here in Off-White, having kind of like almost like a Little Mermaid detail. That's what it reminds me of. But if we're thinking about more wearable trends, or how can I interpret into an everyday life, then think about like the 50s, the housewives. So having very tiny waistline, but then having the skirt, just like an A-line skirt popping up. Or like here, we see more of a peplum situation happening. Or we having blazers that are a little bit tied up in the midsection, or having an actual hourglass shape in the blazer format. So yes, we are still seeing oversized blazers and strong shoulders, but there is a new emphasis on the waistline now, where even if the blazer has very strong shoulders, it's gonna have an emphasis on the waistline, and then there's going to be extra volume at the hips just to create this exaggerated shape. Like here in Versace, we see the blazer, and now we're seeing dresses with this kind of a puff right at the hips, maybe even a little bit at the front. Rock has this kind of an folded over effect of the skirt where it creates like a little tiny skirt at the top. Victoria Beckham has these weird circly things on the side that creating more volume to the hips. Once again, ruching at the hips, kind of having a skirt over a skirt effect on top of those hips. Okay, so this trend is basically great for people who have stronger shoulders and like to balance their body shape out. If you have very tiny shoulders, then think about adding that volume maybe with that strong shoulder blazer and doing that. But if you're just wearing like a tight top and this ridiculously oversized bottom, it's gonna look a little bit off. So just keep in mind all of these little things when you're thinking about dressing your own body. Let's move on to the next one, and this one is all about shoulders. We see so many gowns with emphasis on shoulders. It might be just one shoulder, it might be both shoulders, it might be like different lengths, maybe some floor gowns, maybe some shorter ones, more casual ones, but definitely there is a lot of similarities in a lot of runway shows, having the straight line across your body. So if you have strong shoulders, this will attract more attention to those shoulders, especially the straight line. Maybe if it's asymmetric, like one shoulder thing, it's gonna be okay, just because it will kind of move the eye away from it because of the asymmetry of it. But definitely the straight line across is a little bit dangerous for you guys who do have really broad shoulders. But if you, on the other hand, are bottom heavy, then this is definitely a trick that you can use to bring more attention to your shoulders and make your body a little bit more balanced. I love all of the Balmain and Jean-Paul Gaultier. It's the same designer that did both shows, and they had kind of like almost like a blazer that's just on top of it, as like deconstructed a little bit fashion. Anyways, love it. We even have some cold shoulder moments in off-white. I don't know if that's gonna catch up or not, but I prefer the more of an open shoulders, like the fully open things, you know? It's like something about it so feminine, and I don't like it on me, but I like it on the runways. Anyway, we also see this for men as well in CDS. We also see this in Givenchy, Loewe even had really interesting, cool necklines with it as well. Max Mara, Rick Owens with very cool designs as well, and Valentino. Moving on to the hoods. I've covered hoods in my hats trend report. If you didn't check it out, maybe you should. But the reason I decided to put it here is just because it's not really a hat. It's more like a garment, right? So we do see a bunch of hoodies for like street style and etc. It's not something new. But when we're seeing these hoods being part of like a longer coat or like a dress or being styled together with more feminine clothing, I feel like it is. Like here in Max Mara, beautiful coat. Here in Etro, we have the stylistic choice of kind of this tiny hoodie with this flowing skirts. We have hats that resemble a hood, like in Raf Simons. We also see this in Anti Prima. Really like kind of like a Red Riding Hood, but it's not red, it's black. Anyways, we definitely see so many of the balaclava kind of hats, and this is, I feel like, still a continuation of like a almost like a hood but very tight one. I quite like it. Is this maybe a fashion houses trying to relate to Muslim fashionistas? Maybe they're trying to broaden their customer base, but I really love how it looks. It definitely just kind of clears out anything away from your face, and it's stunning on models for sure. Sometimes they look as if it's just a really long turtleneck and you're just pulling it over. Undercover had really cool ones like that with little horns and like a little bull's ring. I love it. Very, very rebellious. Jean-Paul Gaultier was one of the designer house that had really gorgeous gowns with hoods attached. So sometimes it was kind of almost like a balaclava, but then at other times it was like a purple gown with a cap or something along the lines. Altazara as well had very gorgeous gowns. Balmain, yes, beautiful. Even Caperni had, I think, just one dress like this. You can definitely layer it with something if you feel like it's too revealing. If you are one of those people who needs to be more conservative with their clothing, I feel like it's so easy to layer it with something else and still have your head covered. Next trend. I guess it's perfect for you guys as well. People of more modest clothing. We see maxi everything. Maxi skirts, maxi dresses, and we'll be looking at some maxi coats as well. In the previous season, I was saying how, oh, look, we're heading into recession, but here are all the super long skirts showing how wealthy we are by affording this amount of fabric. And so many companies do try to cut back on length just to create a cheaper product so they can sell and make more money, profit off of it. But there is one comment that kind of opened my eyes and I love it. I wish I remembered who it was from, but they said that basically during recession, during all these uncertain times, maxi length comes back to style because it is safer. People wearing like bigger, longer garments feel more covered, they feel more safe, they feel at peace, maybe kind of like making themselves into like a little covered cocoon. And that is the reason why, with uncertainty in politics or uncertainty in the financial system of the country, then we see the maxi lengths coming back, having longer skirts, having longer coats, and etc. I love this trend for many reasons. One of them, if it's a dress, then you don't even need to worry about styling it. You just put it on and go. Another one, if it's still like a dress or a coat, it gives you this very long silhouette. There's no abruptions anywhere, and it gives you an illusion of much longer body, which is something that I strive for. My partner is 6'8", and I am 5'9", and I look like a tiny child compared to him. So any way I can get more inches, even imaginary ones, I am going to take. So if you're in my boat, then consider a long coat, a long dress. I feel like a coat can still function even if you have like a skirt and a top, or a pant and a top in different colors. It's still gonna aid the eye in going up and down and not stopping quite much, unless it's like striped one, you know, horizontal stripes. So anyways, I do love pairing a really long coat over top of any outfit. I feel like it's one of those things that just uplifts it, brings the outfit styling to the next level, and it's so easy and effortless. Just make sure, once again, if you're living in a more wetter climate, then the coat in question, or a maxi length, whatever, is not hitting the ground, that you have a little bit of a wiggle room. Walking on steps, another situation, if they're wet or something, pick that coat up and walk, you know. But I just love this length for anybody. Unless you're super tall, then you can just probably not do it. Probably the more lines you create on your body, the better, just to make you seem a little bit shorter if you're conscious about it or anything. But we see these in a variety of textures. Like right now, we're seeing more of leather-esque type of coats on the runways right here. We also see them in just regular wool, more like a croc style, just plain fabric as well, in both more of a classical styling as well as in a more contemporary or more of a street style. We even see some fur on there. I'm not sure if it's real though. I just can imagine how warm it is though. So cozy. All right, next trend. I'm calling this unraveling. You could call this distressed looks. You can call it anything pretty much, but it's mostly kind of, remember where we had really torn up denim? Yeah, it's back. Yeah, it's back, you guys. If you have it in your closet, take it out of your storage bins. It's here. And it seems like it's a more of a permanent staying, you know, for a trend. We do see this in denim, as I mentioned. We see this like in even leather, having maybe like a painted effect of it being worn out. We see this in sweaters, having them like ripped up and detangling, like in Coach right here, as if somebody had a infested closet full of moths. We see it just really falling apart, but my favorite one is the lace one. So we see like it looking like it's being very deconstructed and very like loose, but then the looseness of it, it's not just holes, it's actually lace, and it's looking like that's a beautiful one. That's I love. We have very messy fringe like here. Caperni, we have the skirt like in multiple layers of it being almost like torn. We also see Diesel having like clothing that's looks like it was made like on a mesh, but then most of it was just like stripped. I don't know even how to say it. I have no idea how it's gonna last you if it's or how it was made to look like this without just physically destroying the fabric, you know what I mean? Like we also have this kind of a paint effect where the garments were probably painted and then scrunched up so the paint cracked. And so many more dresses. I actually quite like these ones on from Diesel, but once again, they're very, very torn up by animals kind of a feel. We also see in Maison Margiela kind of effect of mold growing on top of it. Here we go, some denim examples that I've spoken about. They are here, unfortunately. GCDS having kind of these sweaters that are unraveling but still put together, and probably they're like sewn onto the garment underneath and having that effect, which is pretty cool. If you have like a almost destroyed sweater, why not try to create something like this? Having deconstructed blazers on the runways, which is something that I am trying to do myself, but I just don't have the time for it, honestly. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have some kind of unraveling knits, and here we go. We also have some just regular ones as well. We see so much of like really dense ribbed dresses, maybe ripped sweaters, ribbed, not ripped, ribbed, they're regular. Some of them are like much more oversized, others are not, I guess, more like clinging to body. We also see some crochet out there, but that is just, I feel like a very staple kind of a piece in your closet that's very easy to style. If the sweater in question is of high quality, I guess. Some people say that ribbed knits aren't the best for all body shapes, but I feel like they're really stretchy and they can accommodate a lot of body types. Look for more of a thicker ones instead of a super thin ones, because they kind of hold a little bit more structure and they have a better possibility of hiding like underwear lines, bra lines, and etc. But we do still see very chunky knits and chunky sweaters, chunky dresses, chunky knit cable sweaters. So they're still here, and it's fall winter. Like, can I get a sweater with it? I feel like sweaters are a great layering piece, and if you're living in a warmer climate, then go for a crochet, go for something with like those holes. We see knit pants, we see knit dresses, we see just sweaters. And yeah, let's move on to sheer. Okay, so sheer has been with us for a few seasons now. Not moving out just yet. We see another boatload of sheer items. I feel like they're really cool for layering. I'm not sure if they're the greatest to wear without any garments underneath. Yeah, they can definitely bring more complexity to your outfits if you're layering them, like we see here in Dior, having kind of like those high-waisted panties and a really plain bra, or like here in Dolce & Gabbana. But I feel like they're still like very sensual and a little bit too out there. I would definitely try to layer it with something way more covering. But if you are very confident in your body and you would like to show it off, then here you go. There are plenty of examples here, and they're both like on a classical side as well as more of a risque and modern ones as well, like using lace, for instance, as sheer material, or just having very simple shapes to the garment itself. Maison Margiela, along with Miu Miu, having sheer skirts layered over like either shorts or underwear and tights. A lot of layers, as I mentioned previously. We see these dresses being maxi, or them being like here in Miu Miu, kind of just to the knee. There are so many possibilities in styling with sheer items. Even if you don't like the idea of uncovering your body this much, you can definitely wear it together with something that is more covering, and it's not being this overly seduction kind of a mode in your outfit. I even had a bunch of garments made of latex that is sheer. And finally, the trend that we've been waiting for, the one that I said covers pretty much the entire shows, like all of them, and in multiple of aspects, florals. So we're looking at florals right now being kind of a print. This is not the only way it was present. We see it being present in 3D florals, like in Miu Miu, having these sparkly florals on the garments, like sewn onto it. We see them in shoes, having maybe floral shoes, or having like little tiny 3D cutouts like in Prada. We see this throughout so many jewelry items, like we have earrings, pendants, you name it, bags with floral prints, or even the 3D cutouts. Just so much florals, so much florals. If feminine florals are your thing, then this is definitely your time to get it out and wear it. I bought a pair of like really large statement floral earrings a few years back, and I've been wearing them almost non-stop. I decided not to wear it for this video just because I wear it twice already this season while I'm filming, so I was like, maybe not today. I do love how it looks together with almost everything I wear. So if you're ever wondering like what to buy and you love this kind of very feminine, dainty styles, then go ahead. It's all over all of the runways, and I feel like even once it kind of dies down, it's not gonna be like, oh, like she bought it in 2023 when it was popular and now she still wears them, you know? I feel like it's gonna be, oh, flowers, cool. Jewelry, having floral motifs, buckles. We see, yeah, florals everywhere, like 3D ones on the garments as well. If you have a flower brooch, wear it. There is a super easy way to make a little floral necktie out of a square headscarf. So easy. Like just Google up a tutorial. It's like 3 seconds and you have it. You don't have to invest crazy money into this trend to try it out. Alexander McQueen, beautiful, beautiful accessories. Like we have asymmetric, huge earring, really large ring on the, like for the full hand, and this crazy pendant style, like almost like looking like a lung. We see it everywhere. Yeah, the trend that kind of started all, I feel, is the like of a little tiny choker with a flower on there, and they're still here on the runways, some being like even already out of metal. We also see this and earrings like paired together. Once again, 3D florals on like mini skirts, maxi skirts, you name it, having like a single flower on the dress or multiple, having it appliqued on dresses, having it appliqued on bags, having it appliqued on blazers, coats, and etc. Even like on more of a messy one. Here in David Coma, we have like a full bralette made out of these florals, having it part of the dress. So many flowers. I like it a lot, but I don't want to get too much florals. You know, like sometimes floral prints make very like granny type of print, you know, like, and it's really hard to pinpoint which one is, okay? So I'm thinking of going for the 3D versions instead. Maybe just trying out something DIY, just to see if I like it or not. But like, yeah, these Prada skirts are amazing. Prada shoes are one of the highest items that is being searched and bought at the moment, and their skirts, beautiful. Blue Marine had kind of like these roses just on their sleeves, very cool, and on the neck, highlighting the aesthetic. Anyways, you guys, I know it was a long video, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And to show me a little bit of appreciation, please maybe like this video, leave me a nice little comment down below. I am really trying to grow, and the more engagement you guys provide this video, the more people will see this video, because YouTube will actually show it to them. I really appreciate you staying till the end. If you're wondering how can you interpret all of these trends into your everyday life, then I encourage you to check out my Instagram page. It's very small. I try to incorporate all of the trends that I really like from the runways into my everyday style. Like, for instance, see the bowl, it's huge, it's humongous, but it's there and I like it. If you want to have a little bit more of a deeper dive into maybe colors or patterns, textures, and etc., I'll be linking all of the videos down below. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you a great rest of the day. And yeah, stay classy. Bye.